Hi there, it's Julie from the Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers, also known as EMCN. This time I have a question from a former payroll professional student, Anna.
Hi, Julie. With schools and many jobs now operating online, how can I be successful while working remotely from home?
As you can tell, this is a topic that is not specific necessarily just to newcomers to Canada. In fact, everybody right now can benefit from a few tips in this area. It's been a pretty big adjustment for us to transition our lives from the way they were before to trying to be productive from home, whether it's for school or for our jobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few tips, certainly things that I've done, but also that other people who have had experience from working from home have passed along as well. So hopefully you'll find these helpful. The first thing you should do is set aside a space to work. Not everybody has the benefit of having a completely separate area in their home that they can set aside for a home office. Instead, what you want to do is find an area that is comfortable and that allows you to work efficiently. So a place where you have perhaps like a little table or the corner of a dress or something where you can set up your computer or textbook, whatever you're working with. It should be an area that you can feel like you are productive. One of the things that I can tell you not to do is not to work from your bed. You want to keep your bed as a place that you associate with rest, that you associate with sleep, and isn't something that will generate stress where you're doing a business meeting or something of that nature. So you should keep some of those areas very much for yourself. It's sometimes very difficult if you have other people around, especially children. They don't tend to necessarily respect work time. So I would also recommend potentially getting some headphones if you can, or even I've had students who have told me that when they go home to study, they actually put in earplugs. These are some things that might help, but having that space that you associate day after day with, this is where I'm going to be productive and this is where I'm going to work, can really be helpful. It's also essential that you stick to a schedule. Now, it can be tempting when you're at home with your Netflix and your bed and your books and everything else that you find distracting. It can be very easy to sort of lose yourself in those and not accomplish what you need to accomplish. This is why good time management is certainly important and setting yourself up a schedule. So you really want to make sure that you begin your day at the same time. So if you were at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, it would be good for you to be up and being productive and doing work-related things around the same time. You still might be able to sleep in because you don't have all of that commute time, so you can still count that as a win. But one of the things that's really important is making sure that you still feel like you're in that mindset of productivity and thinking about work. And if you sleep too much or if you get too distracted, you'll find you won't be able to keep that up. So it's part of staying motivated. So make yourself a schedule, have a certain time when you start work, have a certain time when you take breaks, just like you would at work, particular lunchtime, and also a time at the end of your day where you stop work. Either in a notebook or on a computer program, find a place to document your day. So one thing that can make remote studying or remote working a little bit challenging, not only for the person that's doing that remote work, but for supervisors or instructors, that sort of thing, is this need to know that something is happening. So pairing that with your schedule, what you're going to want to do is find a way to document what you're doing during a day. This is really helpful when you need to send an update to somebody to let them know what you've been working on. Whether it's with your instructor and fellow students or your boss and coworkers, keep up regular communication. Because we don't see our instructors or supervisors or coworkers on a regular basis face to face, it can make things seem a little distant, potentially a little lonely. And it can mean that any kind of project that you might be working on where you're relying on somebody else's input or somebody else's work, it can mean that there might be a little bit more miscommunication. So more so than ever, keeping a constant line of communication and a regular schedule of communication is important. So touch base with your boss or supervisor, phone them, email them, maybe have a particular meeting time on a weekly basis. It's one of those times where we have to keep people up to date on what we're doing and how we're doing, not just for productivity's sake, but also just for that connection's sake. So everything works a little bit better when there is an open and regular line of communication. So just to review a few things we've talked about, you want to set aside a space to work, stick to a schedule, document your day, and remember to keep up regular communication. Well, that's it for today. I hope that you find some of these hints helpful and that they do allow you to maybe more comfortably adjust to doing your studies or work from home. Have a good day and stay safe.